Hey, church, welcome. Thanks so much for joining us. We're going to do something a little bit fun here. We're going to do it for the next few weeks. So, welcome to Know Your Pastor. So, first up on the chopping block here, we have our wonderful Pastor Mark. He is our pastoral care pastor here at Praise Point. We love him dearly, good friend of mine. And one I very much consider a mentor here. But we got 5 questions that we're going to ask him. Some things are going to get a little strange. Some things are going to be super funny. And then we're also going to dive into a little bit about Mark's personal faith journey. And just so that way you can get to know Mark a little better and get to know his life coming. So Mark, thank you so much for entertaining me with this. Appreciate it.
Good to be here.
Yeah, appreciate that. All right, so first question. What, money no object, what is your dream car? Now, I'm talking like the car on the wall, the poster on the wall, the one that you're like, you look at it when you're the kid, you're like, oh,
It's changed over the years. When I first was going to buy a car out of high school, I was going to buy a 1970 Cuda, and it was a beautiful car. But my best friend had just bought another car, and he got a 1970 Shelby Cobra GT 500
oh, that's
rag
nice.
top,
Ooh.
roll bar, 4-speed, 427. I mean, it was a nice
Are we
car.
talking like baby blue with the
Ye-
double white pinstripes?
Oh yeah, baby, but it was green. It wasn't baby blue; it was green.
Green's still good.
But that would be.
Had the go faster stripes on
Oh
it?
yeah, oh yeah.
Oh.
It was a hot car,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
I had a chance to buy it, but I was in college at the time and I couldn't afford it.
I'm
So
only slightly disappointed in
yeah,
you.
I am. I am very disappointed. I could be making millions of dollars right now because that's what they're worth.
That's true.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Right.
So, turning a little bit serious. Tell us a little bit about how you came to Christ. Like, what was that journey like for you in that part of your life?
Well, I was the third born of a pastor, so I'm a preacher's kid.
Okay.
And all the stories you hear about preacher's kids, that's true.
Oh, yeah.
But I remember Dad was the president of the Ministerial Association in a town called Dixon, Illinois.
Okay.
And every year, all the ministers would get together and they would do a tent revival service. And one year, they got Dr. Jack Van Impe to come in and do the tent meeting when Jack Van Impe did it at that time. And I, that morning or that evening, was sitting in the front row. There was 500 people there that night. I was sitting in the front row, and I was trying to make the pianist laugh because she was my babysitter. And so in my last-ditch effort, I remember Jack Van Impe said, anyone here want to receive Jesus Christ? I lifted my hand, and I thought, and I heard him say, I see that. I went down like that.
Uh-oh, caught.
But right afterwards, the counselor came over, took me to the back, and I was 12 years old, and I received Jesus Christ in my life. But I believe Jack Van Impe thought that night was probably not very prosperous because there were 500 people there, and only one little boy found Jesus, and that little boy was me.
Well, praise God.
So in my attempt to be funny, I found Jesus in my life.
Well, God is sovereign in those
That's
ways,
right.
isn't he?
That's exactly right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
So, as you kind of progressed in your faith journey, you came here through many different other ministry opportunities. God called you in ministry to become a pastor, a shepherd of his people. Amidst that, there had to have been something that has happened on stage. Just the most embarrassing thing that you could think of that happened on stage as a pastor. What was it?
A lot of things happened on stage that were embarrassing. To choose one, I was early in my ministry, and I one of the things that I did, when I studied, I'd usually use the New American Standard Version of the Bible to study my text. And my text that morning was from Daniel chapter 3. And so I prepared my whole message. It talks about when the idol that was brought, and then when you see the idol and you hear the music, you were to bow down. So I had a homiletical masterpiece.
Yeah.
But when I went to the pulpit, I didn't take my New American Standard. I took my Thompson Chain Reference, King James Version.
Yep.
And chapter 3, I said, before we start, let's look at the word. And so I started reading the word. And when you hear, and it says, when you hear all kinds of music, but in the King James Version, it's spelled M-U-S-I-C-K. And so when I read it, I said, when you hear all manner of music. But it's in there several times that it says music. And so I heard some cackling, laughing, and especially from my wife who was sitting in the front. And I read it again, and more people started to laugh. And I thought, you know what? I don't mind people laughing, but when I'm trying to be serious, this is really
Oh, and you're trying to read
uncomfortable.
scripture.
That's right.
It's like,
and
oh
so
my goodness,
I
what are you
kept on
doing?
going, and my sister was there that morning, and by the third mussuk, she was rolling in the aisles. And all of a sudden, I remember her saying, Mark, it's not mussuk, it's music. And I looked down and I go, music. So that was pretty embarrassing because, I had about 300 people there that morning, and reading that wrong, it just wasn't good. So
I've been there before. Sing a couple lines where it's the exact opposite.
That's right.
Of what I'm trying to sing.
That's
So
right. That's right.
Totally understand
Yep.
that. So, as part of, being in ministry and having taught for as long as you have, there has to be a passage of scripture for you that is just your absolute favorite to teach. So if you're ever asked to go somewhere, if someone just says, hey, here you go, blank slate, teach on anything you want, what is that go-to passage that you're going to lean
I
on?
love Philippians chapter 2. I just love teaching from Philippians chapter 2. Matter of fact, I just had a discussion with my wife not long ago that I said, I want Philippians chapter 2 to be read at my funeral because I believe that it's just such a tremendous passage of scripture, but it ends in a time of that every tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. And I want people to know Jesus. And that resonates with me.
Yeah.
That my desire that people find Jesus in their heart, in their life.
Yeah.
So that's why probably Philippians chapter 2.
Excellent. I don't think you could pick a better one. Just the
Well,
truth that comes out
That's
of
right.
that.
Absolutely. It's tremendous truth.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Mark, thank you so much for joining us. I got one more question for you, and it's back to kind of one just about you. I know that you and your bride Ruth been married for a long time. What is the one place that if you have to say, get in the car, we're going to the airport, going to a dock, we're going somewhere, where's the one place that you're going to go on vacation to get away? Where's your favorite travel spot?
Well, probably when Ruth and I had our 40th wedding anniversary. Ruth said that she didn't want to have a party. I'm the party animal. She doesn't like parties. So she said, I just want to go someplace with my kids.
Okay.
And so we went on a 4-day cruise out of Cape Canaveral
Okay.
with my kids and their spouses. And so the 6 of us went together and spent 4 days in the Bahamas. And we had just a wonderful time that time. And I would do it again. We've talked about how we would like to do it maybe next time with the grandkids, but be a little more expensive then.
Yeah.
But
I understand that.
but we just had a wonderful time in the Bahamas and being with our kids and It was a great vacation.
Well, that's fantastic. I could imagine no better place than to go on a cruise off the Space Coast.
Right.
I'm a space nerd myself,
Yep.
so
It
to be able to leave from there is
it was awesome. It was awesome.
well, excellent. Well, Mark, thank you so much for joining us, answering these questions. Church, hopefully you've garnered some great knowledge about Mark, got to know Mark a little bit better about who he is, kind of what makes him tick, and a couple little small tidbits about his life. Next week, we're going to have Pastor Brandon up here. We're going to put him on the hot seat a little bit, ask him some tough 5 questions, and get to know Pastor Brandon a little bit better. Until then, thank you so much. We're looking forward to gathering back together soon. Have a wonderful rest of your week.